into the 60s. We could use the rain. We can always use the rain in Colorado. So nice to see we've got a couple of days in there of it, but we may mix in some wet flakes to go along with it, especially when you wake up Thursday.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Mike. Dave, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, guys. Well, coming up in the next 60 seconds is your local forecast on the 8s, and we'll take that forecast into the weekend. Then we're back with the flood threat for millions, where the rain is too much to handle and how long it will stick around. Once again, we are 58 past the hour, just seconds away from your local forecast.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, chance of a shower or thunderstorm through the evening, low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy, high 87. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy, low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Way too much rain, way too fast, causing flooding in several states, from Odessa, Texas to Louisville, Kentucky. Rivers or drivers are trying their luck on flooded streets. Elsewhere in Texas, streets were turned into streams in Fort Worth, also Lubbock and La Mesa. And with days of rain still to come, we could go feasibly from bad to worse. Look at those videos. I mean, same story all across parts of the country.
Yeah, fortunately, we're getting a little break in Texas right now.
That is good news. Welcome to Weather Center Live on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. Wednesday's almost here, and then that means Friday's almost here. You know, that's
all
how I think
downhill
about
from
it.
there, right?
You know, we've already picked up more rain this week in some spots from Texas to Florida than we would pick up in an average month.
And that's the case along the Florida or the Gulf Coast. Take a look at some video. This is into the Florida Panhandle. Pensacola, to be exact. Firefighters were wading through knee-deep high water to get a driver who was stuck out of that water. We're told their fire truck, though, stalled out while doing that rescue, so the crew had to unload and head for higher ground.
You know, that's why it's so important to not play games with flooding like this. Because what if you get stuck? Emergency comes out to get you, they get stuck, and a real emergency, like a heart attack, happens.
Right.
You know, you could have controlled whether you went into this water and called these emergency people out. So let's be smart about how we use our public services.
Great advice. Just save yourself the trouble, you know, save yourself the car bill, or at worst, save yourself, because those floodwaters can be dangerous.
Absolutely. You know, Mother Nature is playing hardball right now, and we really have to respond.
All right, let's head out to the lab with storm specialist Mike Bettis, because Mike, this is a story that really isn't ending.
Oh, for
today.
sure. You know, it's going to be Pensacola, it's going to be Mobile, it's going to be a lot of the Gulf Coast. Those images will repeat themselves this week because the rain is not ending, maybe not even until early next week. So we could have a solid 7+ days of rain here across I-10, I-20 corridors. Let's show you what's going on here. We've got a blow-up of convection here, especially through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, where you see the cold cloud tops here highlighted in orange and yellow. We've got building thunderstorms that are just saturated with rain. There's our low that spins right at the state line of Texas and Louisiana, and a lot of moisture being pumped right up into that cold front, and that's kind of our offensive line if you think about it. Nothing gets past that really, so all the moisture is really focused south of that cold front. That front then responsible for some epic flooding that we've seen. New Orleans over through, I would say, Pensacola, and everywhere in between we've had rain. In fact, we've even had some water spouts reported in Mobile Bay. There's a look at the accumulation we've had in just the last 6 hours. West of New Orleans, we've had more than 6 inches. East of New Orleans, we've had about 4 inches. inches, and we set a new daily rainfall record in New Orleans. We're pushing about 3 inches of rain now. I think we easily go over 3 inches, and you can attest to the street flooding we've had in New Orleans. You take a look at the blue dots on the map where we've had flood reports. It does include East New Orleans, by the way. How about this report? Numerous flooded and impassable streets. Stalled cars also reported. Don't become a victim here, folks. If you see that water, you may not know how deep that is. If there's a depression in the road, you may not know that. Just turn around, find an alternate route. It might take you a little bit long, but certainly will save you the aggravation, and you don't want to be stuck in that and have to be rescued. There's a look at the back edge, by the way, the heavy rain now coming through New Orleans, and it looks like the heaviest stuff will slide over through Slidell on its way toward Gulfport and Biloxi, so it may actually get a bit of a break here momentarily in New Orleans. Having said that, flash flood watch is still in effect here, and a couple of warnings within that, knowing that flooding is imminent right now. But Mobile to Pensacola, I think some of the worst rain is still on for you this evening. Compared to last year, we just saw the pictures out of Pensacola, really brought back memories of last April. We had huge flooding in Pensacola. Remember last April? We had about 30 inches of rain, a lot of that falling in just 2 days, and it caused some of the worst flooding Pensacola has ever seen. I thought the pictures we just saw brought back memories of that. What we've got going on here is a low that spins, upper level low that spins here, big trough that digs in the west. The two will work in conjunction to really hammer us with rain and even severe weather. Tomorrow night, by the way, it affects us here across West Texas all the way through, say, western Kansas. Then a large area on Thursday that does include Texas and includes all of our major metro areas. So Dallas to San Antonio to Houston, heads up, especially on Thursday, for hail-damaging winds and an isolated tornado threat, Alex.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Let's talk more about where the showers, the storms are right now. Look at eastern Louisiana, up into parts of Mississippi and southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, the far western spot, just getting pounded with heavy rain right now. We've also seen thunderstorms firing into parts of North and South Carolina. Perhaps we'll see a severe thunderstorm watch posted for these areas, so severe storms will be possible in this part of the country. Around Myrtle Beach, if you're over that way, you're watching for storms. Same for Georgetown and south of Florence. We've got a storm rolling off towards the east. Columbus, Mississippi, you've seen the storms north of Philadelphia as well. Could see some small hail with some of these storms as well. And north of Natchez, Louisiana, rain is coming down hard and fast, Dave.
Boy, those tropical showers will put it down. Well, New Orleans started out the day in the fog, but our meteorologist Mike Seidel shows us that the rain came and it has not let up since. He's keeping an eye on the threat for flooding and storms this week.
It's another day of tropical downpours, not only here in the Big Easy, but across the Gulf Coast, all the way from Texas, where we had flash flooding through the morning in Corpus Christi, to the Florida Panhandle, where flash flood watches right now run until after midnight tonight. Out here on the Mississippi, you can see the dark, moisture-laden clouds and the tug going upriver towards the Crescent City connection. Now, this morning, we couldn't see even a stone's throw into the river, and we could not see the bridge over to the West Bank. Take a look at the pictures of a foggy, murky morning. A lot of joggers out here. It was a nice morning for a jog. Good morning to work up a sweat with those temperatures in the mid-70s and that humidity up there at 90 to 95%. And then just before 9 a.m., the heavens let loose here in the French Quarter. In fact, all morning we'd watched the rain west of us and north of us over Lake Pontchartrain, out towards Baton Rouge, down towards the areas Lafayette, Louisiana, down towards the Gulf Coast. And then it hit here, and it came down hard. We had some gusts. Strikes of lightning in the area. Lightning has been a real threat this morning. In fact, the severe threat overall today and tomorrow is fairly low as far as hail, wind damage. The Torcon is one, but there has been thousands of lightning strikes this morning. At one point, we had over 2,000 in the area in 15 minutes. So be aware of the lightning, the risk of flash flooding. That's going to be the real threat for the next several days. In fact, for the rest of the week into the weekend, not only here in New Orleans, but for the Gulf Coast and a lot of the southeast, we're going to be stuck in the pattern. And there goes some thunder and storms and heavy rainfall on and off right into this coming weekend. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Not just the Gulf, though, getting soaked.
It's a soggy day along the Jersey Shore, too. We'll have that story next.
Today, you brighten the room. A gallon of paint? Check. Drop cloths? Check. Painter's tape? Check. Rollers and trays? Check. And check.
Wow, looks nice.
Caribbean blue.
You mean Caribbean?
Caribbean.
Agreeing on a color? Done. With everything you need for a makeover at Walmart's low prices you can trust every day, what project will you take on?
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with intimacy. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to viewers of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for viewers of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait.
Call right now to get your free bottle while it's still free. Call 1-800-254-0215 or visit superbeta.com. That's 1-800-254-0215.
Book a tee time 24/7 with Golf Now. Day or night. Even after the course closes. Search the largest selection of available tee times at over 6,000 great courses. Book your round in no time with Golf Now.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Chance of a shower or thunderstorm through the evening. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy. High 87. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly to mostly cloudy. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
I've got plans. And this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
The Falcon soars from its perch toward the International Space Station, carrying Dragon and new science for the one-year crew. Seconds into flight, all systems are go for the Falcon 9.
Welcome back. You joined us just in time. You are looking at the launch of the SpaceX. This is a mission to resupply the space station. Liftoff was scrubbed yesterday. You remember there were storms in the area, so they replanned it for today. There was a 60% chance. You can see we got the A-OK to do. You're looking at live footage from NASA TV as this resupply mission.
Standing by for the Falcon to go
it's about a minute into flight.
10 seconds after liftoff. Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There you heard it, Dave. You know, you were saying this Falcon 9, it's just always such a cool sight to see, no matter how many times you watch these liftoffs.
It's just so majestic.
The next major milestone.
I'm transfixed to it.
Engine shutdown.
I think it's something everybody. You just see that, you know, something extraordinary is taking place.
Well, there's something very exciting about space travel, and you know, you got to imagine that some of the astronauts are excited too, because there's a little espresso machine designed by Lavazza on this. Italy Space Agency also did it. You know, it was an Italian astronaut who inspired the creation of that, and she'll get to enjoy it for a few
30 seconds from first
weeks.
engine cutoff.
Wow, now this is taken from the rocket. And now, of course, we're looking back up at it as it heads to the highest reaches of the atmosphere, out toward the ionosphere and then into outer space. Just what a sight to see.
Amazing stuff. So glad that they were able to get that launch off. You know, there were some clouds in the area that were making some forecasters a little nervous, but they said, you know what? It's a go. They needed to get it today because tomorrow the timing wouldn't have been right with the space station. So it really was imperative that they got it going. You just saw the separation as well.
And there's Earth down there.
And they're actually going to try to land this then on something that's floating on the ocean.
Altitude 86 kilometers.
When they get back.
When they come back, they're going to land it on something that's floating on the ocean.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the plan.
We all wish them luck. Everybody who's working on this thing and who's on board, you know, everybody had their fingers crossed. Just awesome. Amazing. Here we are. There's Cape Canaveral sticking out in the Atlantic Ocean right there. And we just saw that. Well, you know, I wonder if we could see the smoke plume, the vapor plume and smoke plume from this, maybe a couple of scans after this. If we could take off the Cape, you know what? Let's check that in about an hour. Sean, are you with me on that? We might be able to see it. Okay, cool. That is great. Cape Canaveral, beautiful. Just some cumulus clouds over the state of Florida. Look down here. There is Lake Okeechobee, and the wind is blowing over the lake. The air over the lake is cooler than it is over the land. No clouds forming. And look at that. That's spreading this way. On either side of the lake, it's plenty warm. Upper 80s. Let's check in on radar, too, across the southeast. Further northward, there could be a problem here in North Carolina, the threat of severe thunderstorms. There may be a bow echo beginning to form down here southwest of Raleigh, moving quickly to the east. This will be monitored for the threat of damaging wind, certainly, and maybe some large hail. The rain is over in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, at least for now. The cold front is blown through, but it's going to move back later this week.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. A government study reports thousands of workers have been diagnosed with asbestos-related mesothelioma. To compensate those affected, asbestos trusts have been established with $30 billion in initial funding. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court. Act now. Call 1-800-950-MESO for a free consultation. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available. Then call us. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
I always dreamed of coming here. When my asthma symptoms returned, my doctor prescribed Dulera to help prevent them.
Dulera is for patients 12 and older whose asthma is not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Dulera will not replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms.
A 6-month clinical study has shown Dulera helps significantly improve lung function.
Dulera contains formoterol, which increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Dulera is not for people whose asthma is well controlled with a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Dulera and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Dulera more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor about Dulera.
There was a time when the sea gave way to the sky, raising an amazing destination like no other. Atlantis. Book now and receive a $250 airfare credit, plus a free shallow water dolphin interaction. Hurry, offer ends soon. Visit AtlantisBahamas.com.
Weather. So we build things to harness it.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
Living with diabetes, it's really important for me to take care of my skin. It's a schedule. It's must do every day.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures, and every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Wow, take a look at that. A lightning bolt right in front of this driver in Seminole County, Florida. That's outside Orlando. This happened yesterday. Has to be about 200 to 300 feet in front of the driver. Now, can you imagine being that close to lightning but out in the open, say on a beach? What do you do? Take a look.
Whoever said lightning never strikes twice couldn't have been more wrong. The Empire State Building is hit nearly 100 times a year. Here's a good lightning tip to keep in mind. Tall, isolated, pointy. If a human is the tallest thing around, watch out.
Whoa. Hey, Rob, did you see that? Rob!
There's a tremendous amount of power within a single lightning bolt.
And that brings us back to you swimming in the water. Lightning flashes in the distance. What would you do in this situation? If you picked C, you may have just saved yourself from a major shock.
Okay, I'm coming back inside.
If someone is out swimming and they hear thunder, they should not go to a beach shelter, which has 4 posts and a roof. That is extremely unsafe. Sun shelter, beach shelter, golf shelter, rain shelter, all of them almost invariably are unsafe from lightning. Go to a large, substantial building that has the effect of having a way for the lightning strike to the building to go safely into the ground.
Let's take a live look at Las Vegas. 82 degrees. And you know, Dave, when we've been talking about wet, wet, wet on the East Coast, it's warm and it's dry and it's windy out west. Blowing dust reported near Vegas.
That's right. We got it on a visible satellite loop right now, Alex. Have a look at this. There's Las Vegas here in Clark County. But further up the line, there's a line of cumulus clouds. Those puffy clouds, colder air is headed into Las Vegas. So it's actually undercutting this warm air we have, causing this little line of cumulus clouds. No thunder showers here, but severe thunderstorm type winds. Winds so strong that they're picking up the dust off the ground and it's flying around. Huh? So we got dust storms going on out here. We've got winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. We have tractor trailers blown over on this stretch of road on I-80 between Salt Lake City and Wendover. And look at the smoke going this way. Huh? We've got southerly winds ahead of it. That's the warm air. We're still warm in Salt Lake City for one more hour. We're in the upper 70s with winds gusting to 50 miles per hour. Tonight, snow is in the forecast. It will not stick on the roads after a warm day such as this. Temperatures falling into the upper 30s after midnight. That's when the snow falls. And we've had precious little snow so far this year in Salt Lake City, but great spring skiing here for us the next couple of days in the Rockies. Alex, back to you.
Well, you've seen the proof. When you drive on a flooded roadway, you are putting yourself in danger. We saw trucks trying to get down a road in West Texas yesterday with water flowing against them. While they got lucky, every one of these vehicles could have been swept away.
So nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet. So nice, so nice. Send cry full of pure vibes. So nice, so nice. Send John a real paradise. So nice, so proud to be from the Virgin Islands and the whole place nice.
To experience your Virgin Islands nice, book one of our packages today.
Average women's tees versus a gawking gopher. Duluth Trading Longtail Tees versus a gawking gopher. The Duluth Longtail Tee. 2 extra inches to defend your back end. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
My budget was always second-guessing me when I'd buy stuff for the family. Fingerhut, Fingerhut, Fingerhut. Just click on over to Fingerhut.com to get the credit you deserve and great stuff for your family. Oh, not Fingerhut.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
We're different, in case no one noticed. We store fat more easily than men, but surprisingly, we can burn fat better too. Thermodynamic Total Burn is the ultimate fat burner for women. In a clinical trial, ingredients in Total Burn helped people lose an amazing 15% of their body fat, and an incredible 86% of weight lost was pure body fat. That's even better than the best-selling diet product. Get Total Burn today. It's part of Body Lab by Jennifer Lopez.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you were watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
In Texas on April 15th. We'll forecast the timing of the storms and share some affordable getaways that you can pay for with a refund from Uncle Sam right here on AMHQ.
This video sums up the day in New Orleans today. Pouring rain with a low rumble of thunder at times. New Orleans already set a new daily record rain, 3 inches so far. Minor street flooding still a concern through the afternoon. And thanks for joining us on Weather Center Live. Umbrellas or no umbrellas, I'm Dave Schwartz.
And I'm Alex Wilson. Rain, flooding, our huge story today. And coming up, we're going to show you exactly how much or how little it would take to float a car.
To float your car right away, just like that. And it's not just the Gulf Coast on alert for flooding. Take a look at some video here.
You are looking at Morgan County. This is eastern Kentucky, and that's actually just a trailer in the water. So it's not that deep, but pretty impressive stuff. I mean, you can see that water slowly going over the roadway, and whatever surrounded this roadway usually, whether it's a yard or a field, I mean, it is covered at this point.
It's covered and it's muddy, which means there's turbulence, and you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, and you never know what's lurking in that water, right? No.
Right.
Hey, let's check in with storm specialist Mike Bettis out in the lab, because, you know, flooding, whether it's minor or on the moderate or even major side, possible throughout the week, because we're not seeing the end to the rain anytime soon.
No, in fact, the rain is likely to stay with us in some states for the next 7 days. We may not catch a break until next Monday. For me, I know what that means. It means I'm not cutting my grass until it's about this tall, and you may not be either. But we've also got some real issues for flooding. Already had many reports of a car stalled on flooded roadways and high water from New Orleans over toward, say, Mobile. All right, let's take a look at it on the map. We'll get you real close into Mobile and show you the status right now. Everywhere where you see orange or yellow on the map, we're getting some pretty heavy downpours right now. That includes right along I-10, and yes, in around Pensacola as well, even around Andalusia up toward Monroeville. Some very heavy rain that's really impacting you this evening as you make your way out for the commute. All right, New Orleans, I may have a little bit of brief good news for you. Back edge of the rain appears to be now in East New Orleans, and so maybe as you work your way toward Picayune and north is where you've got some of the heavier rain, and then eastbound over toward Biloxi and Gulfport. Now, as far as the overall rainfall accumulation, last 6 hours, west side of New Orleans, south of Lake Charles, about 3 inches of rain, and close to that now east of New Orleans over into Mississippi. But you get the deal here. It's been really coming down for us, and anticipate the same forecast for the remainder of the day and even for the remainder of the week. Everything focused along this cold front, moisture streaming north out of the Gulf of Mexico, and everything blocked right there at that front. So most of the concentration of rain is south of that front, where you have the most instability in the atmosphere, where you have the most precipitable water. Now, as far as the rainfall we need to get some flash flooding, in 3 hours time, the southern states generally need about 3 inches of rain. The good news is here, fairly flat terrain, sandy soil, drains really well, and so you don't get a ton of buildup and then runoff. But as you go a little bit farther north here, you've got more silt. You have a little bit more terrain that's an issue, hilly terrain especially in eastern Kentucky and West Virginia, where it takes less than 2 inches of rain to cause some flooding. Here's a look at precipitable water, by the way. And what this tells you is how much water you would have in the atmosphere if you condensed it all out in a column of air and you'd get rain. Follow where the oranges and the reds are really focused on the Gulf Coast, but we still have plenty of rain to go here across the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee River Valley, but really concentrated rain across the south. And this is Sunday's forecast. You saw every single day there had at least some bit of rain in it through Friday. So through the remainder of the work week, some spots in here will get 3 to 5 inches of rain, isolated pockets where I would not be surprised to get more than 10 inches. For New Orleans, here's the forecast through the weekend. The crescendo of rain, by the way, happens for us Thursday through Saturday. Huge rain still to come the next several days, Dave, and I don't anticipate our flash flood watches being canceled anytime soon. So we're going to talk about that, some benefits of the rain, and what comes in behind this that may cause us some more issues, a storm system building in the west. It's all straight ahead, but a rough go here in the south this week.
Yeah, we've got a lot of issues countrywide right now between the incredible wind in the west and the blowing dust and the big changes in temperature and rain changing to snow. But we're going to focus in on the flooding now, since Mike just talked about all that rain. Did you know that nearly half of flash flood fatalities occur with people in their cars? People who end up in flooded roads due to a fault of their own. So this is a decision that you can make. Water weighs 62 pounds per cubic foot. And typically it flows downstream. 6 to 12 miles per hour is what we're saying. All right, so it's got motion. If your car stalls in the flood, you're going to be pushed by the momentum of the water. For every foot of water, 500 pounds of lateral force is applied to the car. So you're being pushed in the direction of the flow of the water. While that's happening, you're being buoyed from underneath. If you've got 2 feet of water under you, that will support a 3,000-pound car. How much does your car weigh? If it's under 3,000 pounds, you're going downstream without a paddle if there's 2 feet of running water on the road. Please be careful. Alex, back to you.
New Orleans, one of the places getting waterlogged. Already they've set a new daily rainfall record, and our Mike Seidel is there.
The rain and the storms continue to move right in off the Gulf of Mexico. Here in downtown New Orleans along the river in the French Quarter, we didn't get our first downpour until about 8:45 this morning, but around us up through Lake Pontchartrain, out west of town towards Baton Rouge, it was raining and raining hard most of the morning. Now we've got cloudy skies. We started off with a fog. Take a look. Here in Waldenburg Park, right on the river, it was thick. It was murky. You could cut it with a knife. Visibility down below 1/4 mile. We had some joggers out here. It was a muggy morning, not as hot and steamy as it will be in the weeks and months to come. Temperatures mid-70s and the dew point in the low 70s. And then the first downpour hit. Take a look at the rain coming down. Gully washers, some gusty winds, and this is the kind of weather we're going to see on and off for the next several days. In fact, for the rest of the week and likely into next weekend. And here's the concern. We have these flash flood watches up across Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. Some of those go until after midnight tonight. Here in New Orleans right now, scheduled to end at 7. But when you put all that heavy rain on saturated ground here in the Big Easy, they've had 2 inches over the past couple of days. Then another downpour, 2 of them so far through the morning. And look at this. This ground is like a sponge. The water doesn't run off. It just sits here. And in other places where you have elevation, it runs off and you end up with flash flood warnings. And we had a plethora of those this morning across Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. So for the next 3 to 4 days, count on rounds of showers and thunderstorms and localized flash flooding. A lot of lightning strikes this morning. In some 15-minute windows, we were seeing over 2,000 strikes. That's a real danger. The severe threat is low. The Torcon today here is just 1. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. More flash flood warnings being posted as the heavy rain continues down into parts of southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, and that western part of the Florida Panhandle. Here into eastern North Carolina, we've got a few thunderstorms firing. Some of these into the afternoon could be severe. Down into parts of Florida, Georgia, it's a little quieter, but as you head over into Alabama along 65 through parts of Mississippi as well, that rain is coming down, and it's coming down heavy. Inside this red box, over 2,000 lightning strikes. So we've got a lot of lightning to work with as well. Some very heavy rain around Columbus, Mississippi. Flash flood warning posted for Lowndes County. This goes till 6:15. There are reports of numerous roads flooded with water because 3 to 4 inches of rain fell in just 1 hour in some spots around the Columbus area. So no surprise at all that we are seeing that rainfall result in flooding across the region. Through the rest of today, rain continues even overnight and into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a soggy morning commute into places like Tennessee. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Termite swarm has come. Enter the legions of Terminex with 85 years of experience and the strongest guarantee in the business. Sorry, termites, we got our swarm of our own. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminex.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? With Cialis for daily use, you don't have to plan around either. It's the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Why pause the moment? Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. For a free 30-tablet trial, go to Cialis.com.
Hey! What is this? What's going on?
Hal? Where have you been?
I was inside.
Yeah?
So long. It was nothing. No yard, no grill. It was just white and cold.
It was winter, buddy. Just winter.
Somebody get this man a burger!
Winter's over, and new and improved Kingsford charcoal is now better than ever.
You do know the experts at Midas will tell you when he's fixing now and what can wait, right? Like, I don't know, brakes?
Of course I do.
One of the best things about driving is being able to stop.
Get up to $100 back by mail on a 2-axle brake service. Oil, everything.
Smart Kevin. Spring? Well, flowers are for girls. Come on. I'm gonna go check on the flowers. Thought flowers were for girls. Yeah, they are.
Take on the joys of spring with low prices you can trust every day at Walmart.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
So, you're saying you'll give me my credit score for free? Right. Now you're going to ask for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low 2 weeks later. Look, Credit Karma.
Are you talking to websites again?
This website says free credit scores.
Oh, Credit Karma. Yeah, it's really free. Look, you don't even have to put in your credit card information. What? Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free.
I could talk to you all day.
A cold front is sliding through Southern California. That's why the wind is beginning to kick up, and you can see it's a pretty good clip right now out here at Santa Monica Pier in Southern California. We're 67. There's no rain, no snow down here with the cold front, just a whole lot of wind for the typical reason, a pressure gradient. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Here's the forecast for Southern California for wind. Here we are. As of 1 o'clock, and these were the winds generally at the time. Notice Santa Clarita 20 to 35. Up here in Lancaster and Palmdale, we've been gusting over 40 miles per hour. That's going to come down to the coast, especially here near Santa Barbara. There is a local wind that develops here, and we'll talk about that. This is called the sundowner wind because typically the winds really jack up right around sundown, late in the afternoon, early in the evening. So here's Santa Barbara. And this is the coast right here. Montecito and Goleta are in here. By the way, if you're going out on the wharf in Santa Barbara tonight and you're wearing that great hat, hold on to it or just keep it in the car because the winds could gust to 60 miles per hour. They're offshore winds, and just like the Santa Anas, as they come down from the mountains, they heat up because we're moving from lower pressure to higher pressure. So we may be warmer here in Santa Barbara than we are just about anywhere in the state. Tomorrow, too. LA 80, 70 in San Francisco, while Vegas is 7 degrees below average. Now, that wind will relax a little bit. We'll still have an offshore wind into Thursday and Friday. Temperatures running about 10 degrees above average. By then, even Phoenix and Vegas will get back above average as well. Be careful of that wind tonight. Alex, back to you.
Red flag warnings are posted across 10 states right now. You can see the smoke from one wildfire burning near Bismarck, North Dakota. Neil Carlson from Fargo's Valley News Live shows us that fire crews are also on high alert in northwest Minnesota.
Back in September of 2012, dry, windy conditions fueled a wildfire that destroyed dozens of buildings and homes and threatened the entire town of Carlstead, Minnesota. Those extreme conditions are back in northwestern Minnesota. This weekend, fire crews responded to 4 separate wildfires around Bemidji. Here, southwest of town, a wildfire burned several acres and destroyed this home. The homeowner was able to get out safely.
So that's the conditions that we have right now, is that small fires are going to turn into big fires very quickly. Cigarettes are a source. There's many other sources. The biggest problems we've had right now are with recreational burns or illegal burning outside of burning restrictions, which is why we have those restrictions in place every spring.
Here at the Bemidji Airport, fire crews are already gathering. With dry conditions and high winds, it's expected to be a busy day and busy week for firefighters. In fact, DNR firefighters will be in the air this week on the lookout for wildfires in thousands of square miles miles of state forest around Bemidji and around the state.
There's all of these different area offices have detection routes where they go and detect fires with those aircraft.
The experts say it's almost guaranteed they'll be fighting wildfires this week. Their challenge will be to spot them and quickly get crews on the scene.
Very much so, yep. It's a red flag day. The potential today is extreme for fires to spread at high rates and become very large fires.
And we've got red flag warnings, fire weather watches posted all across parts of the plains, even into the west, including all of North and South Dakota. Winds right now gusting to 47 miles an hour in Bismarck, nearly 40 miles an hour in Pierre, and just over that mark in Rapid City. 41 mile per hour gusts for you, in the low 30 mile per hour range for Fargo, North Platte, Sioux Falls, and even over into Laramie, Wyoming. Humidity levels, they are very low. We're talking 12% in Pierre and Fargo, 11% in Laramie, North Platte at 18%. So you've got the very dry conditions in place, and then you've got the winds. And notice they are going to stay gusty through the remainder of today and into tonight. So that means any fires that do get started will be spread very easily and will be very difficult to contain. Even into tomorrow, notice those winds will stay strong. Across parts of the southwest, we've got red flag warnings and fire weather watches. Winds have been strong there as well. Reports of tractor trailers being tipped over between Salt Lake City over to the western part of Utah, with gusts at 51 miles an hour right now at Salt Lake City. We'll be back.
Morning's got you a little. Grab the good energy of Quaker Oats, one of nature's most perfect energy sources. It's how we help keep go-getters like you going and getting, one bite at a time. Quaker Up.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
HomeAdvisor.
Guys, that's it. Right there. There's the tornado.
We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get to the safe place.
She is in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall. Flood advisories, flood watches, you name it.
Whoa, that'll blow you down the beach.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 74. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am Spyder dealer and test drive one today. The new Spyder F3. Riding has evolved. The Ready to Ride sales event is on now. Get a 3-year extended warranty and save up to $2,000.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
Quiet! Mom has a
had a headache, but now I don't. Excedrin is fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin.
Wow, that was fast.
Hey girl, is it crazy that your soccer trophy is talking to you right now? It kind of is. It's as crazy as you not rolling over your old 401k. Cue the horns. Just harness the confidence it took you to win me and call TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants. They'll help with the hassle by guiding you through the whole process step by step. And they'll even call your old provider. It's easy. Even she could do it.
Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Habitat for Humanity of Palm Beach County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing people together to build safe, decent, affordable housing to serve low-income and hardworking families in our community. You can help Habitat's mission through home sponsorship, monetary donations, volunteering, or by donating sellable household items and building supplies to our restores. You can learn more at habitatpbc.org.
Imagine waking up every morning to a beautiful, lush, perfectly manicured lawn. You don't have to imagine anymore. Located in Jupiter, Synthetic Turf International is the global leader in synthetic landscape solutions, putting greens, and functional activity surfaces. And STI Jupiter was just chosen to provide and install the synthetic turf for the tailgate field next to this year's college football championship game in Dallas. So stop at the mowing. Let our trained staff show you how your lawn can start paying you. Call for a free quote. Synthetic Turf International.
Sundays.
One man's trash
Get the work.
is another man's totally awesome beer can space heater.
Hi. Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
I'm in the lab with storm specialist Mike Bettis. Now, Mike, a lot of our programming the last few days has had to do with flooding. Yeah. Just the torrential rains along the Gulf Coast, back into Texas. Texas is quieter now. But on the other side of the country, it's like another world of weather today.
It's nuts. It's incredibly dry, and we've got incredible winds. I might take a look at this map. I think it's so fun to look at this, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, very sharp cold front. Right here, we've got a front that's connecting two lows. Primary wind direction out of the southwest here. Last hour, by the way, it was 20 degrees warmer in Salt Lake than it is right now. Fronts come through, it's 55.
An hour ago. Yeah.
Look at these cold winds on the backside here. 47 in Reno, but it's 81 in Vegas. You know something's going to happen. When you got a strong cold front like that, indeed something is going to happen. Temperature staying in the 70s in Salt Lake. Yeah. Snow in the forecast tonight.
That's just amazing.
It's two different seasons in one, right? All right, so let's take a look at not just the temperatures. Take a look at the visible satellite. You've been showing this, and I love some of the dust you'll see. Right there is the front. You can see it. It's basically right in there.
So it's so dry, there are hardly any showers on the front.
Hardly anything, but you can see the front's kind of right in there. You can maybe barely pick out some dust that's been blown here. We've had some reports of right here on the state line between Nevada and Utah. We've had some trucks that have been blown over.
How about some dust there, my
Maybe
friend?
some dust
moving
right in
northward.
there, potentially, yeah. But I mean, look at these gusts, 46, 64, 36 miles an hour. Big rigs are falling over. Visibility is ridiculous. And notice that everything's going to be embedded within a big trough here. And that wind really going to die down for us eventually in Salt Lake City, but really start to pick up now in the Colorado Rockies. So tomorrow becomes a really blustery day in Denver where gusts could go more than 40 miles an hour. Holy cow, Salt Lake. Look at that. Looks like Arizona, right?
That's what it looks like outside in Salt Lake City right now.
55 degrees right now. Dew points come up quite a bit. Visibility is terrible. Wind gusts are 64 miles an hour. This is
a steady wind of
awful
49 miles an hour.
It has been windy all day long in Salt Lake, but here you go. By 3 o'clock tonight, it gets cold enough and we get enough moisture in the atmosphere, it's snow. We get a couple hours of snow. Snow is something we haven't seen at all this year in Salt Lake. We haven't even had 10 inches of snow.
This isn't going to stick.
No, not at all. 9.6, that's it for the season. Lowest seasonal total on record. We'd normally get about 54 inches, Dave, so well off the pace of what we normally see in Salt Lake.
We should have shipped the snow from Boston to Salt Lake City.
If only we could have, right? Park City would have loved it. But there's the forecast, everything progressing east and south, by the way. So beginning tomorrow, Wyoming lights up with snow. Wednesday night into Thursday, it now becomes an issue in the Colorado Rockies. Some wet snow in Denver, probably not going to stick there either because it's too warm.
And a severe weather maker in the southern plains.
Here we go. Western Kansas, western Oklahoma, and Texas.
Mike Bettis in the lab. Alex?
Thanks, guys. Living in an area prone to rough weather is one thing, but performing when it threatens is a whole other challenge. Reba McEntire, she's familiar, and she was on Wake Up with Al this morning.
New album, Love Somebody, is out today.
And she's joining us to talk about her 27th album and, of course, growing up in Tornado Alley.
Speaking of loving somebody, you loved growing up in Oklahoma.
I did,
and, but you had some wild weather growing up.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
On an 8,000-acre farm.
Yeah. Lots of tornadoes coming through there, especially west of us around Ada. That was Tornado Alley when I was growing up. I remember the time when Daddy dynamited the hill a little bit to make a cellar.
Really?
And I hated going to the cellar because I'd rather stay out with the tornadoes than the rattlesnakes that got into the cellar.
Oh,
pick your poison there.
That's right, literally.
Yeah, I was going to say, literally on that one. You've traveled, of course, touring and touring. What is one of the craziest weather stories from being on tour, whether it's snow or even tornadoes again?
Lots of tornadoes, well, one time I was playing Cheney, Kansas, and the weather got so bad we had to kind of, postpone the show, and we were playing a little bitty pavilion. That was years ago. And driving back home, I got caught up in a tornado. I mean, the air was just chocolate. It was just so dark. The dirt and everything mixed in with the rain. And then, we've had a lot of, not many shows that we've canceled, but people couldn't get into the city. And I was still at home because I was flying back and forth. And so they said, don't even get on the plane because the weather's too bad.
Well, back
it was Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, wow. Well, back in 2011, we had that EF3 ripping through Atoka County in Oklahoma. You and Blake Shelton did a concert. You raised over $500,000 for the victims. You felt it was important to give back.
It was really important to give back. Matter of fact, I was in Africa at the time when it hit, and I saw it on the news. And Narvel, my husband and manager, manages Blake. And so Blake he was the first one to say, we got to do something. And I said, well, I'm all for it. Kelly Clarkson was there. My little sister Susie came in and helped. And it was just a big group effort to try to help people as quick as possible.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 89. Wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 74. Wind southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Way too much rain, way too fast. It caused flooding in several states from Odessa, Texas, all the way to Louisville, Kentucky. Drivers are trying their luck on flooded streets, in some cases with not much luck. Streets were turned into streams in Fort Worth, Texas. Also Lubbock, Texas, and La Mesa also dealing with the flooding. With days of rain still to come, we could go from bad to worse. Welcome into Weather Center Live on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Dave Schwartz. Good to see you. Well, several places have already picked up more rain this week than we'd see in an average month.
That's the case along the Gulf Coast. Take a look at this video coming in. Even the flooding sign halfway underwater. Several residents in Mobile had to be rescued from their homes when the water just rose too quickly. A grandmother was rescued by raft when water started pouring into her home. It's estimated the water was nearly 6 feet above the road, and flooding has forced several road closures in Mobile County.
So wet in the southeast, drier and a beautiful day in New York City, even with the clouds. Further west, it's wild and windy and wintry and hot and cold and everything.
We've got a lot going on, needless to say, but we'll focus in on the rain, the flooding. Let's send it out to the lab with storm specialist Mike Bettis, because, Mike, this is not ending today. We're keeping rain for most of the week.
Yeah, it's odd to think that we could be looking at this much rain. It may go on for 7 days, if not more in some instances. Not that what we've had today in places like New Orleans isn't enough for an entire week. A big blowup of convection, by the way, across the south. Thunderstorms blowing up here, Louisiana, Mississippi, now through Alabama. You see it on the infrared enhanced satellite picture here. Basically, it assigns colors to temperatures. So it's looking at the tops of clouds where they're really cold and giving them temperature colors, and that's where we have the infrared satellite. There's our low spinning here, Texas and Louisiana border, and it's basically this front that's just